The Monster Hunter Wilds team over at Capcom has been gracing us with daily weapon overview videos, dropping 1-minute long self-contained, neatly packaged weapon overviews, showing off the skills, abilities, and movesets we can come to expect in Wilds. I've covered each of these in shorts and some of them in long forms as well, and I do intend to do all of them. If you're looking for more detailed analyses on anything, go check those out. I thought it would be fun to stitch together all of the brief analyses on the individual weapons, and then give them a fun, arbitrary ranking based on my hype for it off the actual overview itself. I'm Lighted Up Dan. The sort of content I love to produce aims to reduce the overwhelm and unknown of the Monster Hunter games. A massive thank you for really turning up and getting us to around 80% of unsubscribed viewers on the channel, with the majority of you returning. If you enjoy the videos, do subscribe. And with that said, let's jump in. First to release was the poster weapon of the Monster Hunter series, the Greatsword, kitted out in what appears to be one of the default armors, and this leather tree of weapons that we keep seeing. Jumping straight in with a regular charge/attack. The hunter then quickly does a draw/attack before retreating, starts charging up another charge/, before tackle cancelling through the Doshaguma's attack and following up with a jumping wide slash. We then see this big charged upswing attack which parry and repels the Doshaguma's attack. There's a recurring theme with perfect guards, parries, and with perfect dodges as well. It's followed by a gap closing chase down attack with multiple strikes. We enter focus mode and unleash the focus strike, which sees the sword getting cleaved through the monster, activating all the wounds as it cuts through, popping them for additional damage, which is what the focus strikes do. Shown during the focus mode overview, we also see the charging of a true charge slash being turned 180, realigning the attack during focus mode, ensuring the TCS doesn't whiff. Then the clash grapple QTE thing, where the greatsword's held in the Doshaguma's mouth, keeping it at bay before smacking it back. What appears to be a jumping wide slash sneak attack, then the true charge slash to finish us off. While the huge upswing attack and the focus mode cleave are pretty cool, I couldn't help but feel underwhelmed by the greatsword overview, and it really felt like it lacked impact. It's gonna get a C rating from me. Next up, we've got the heavy bowgun, in what appears to be the high metal armor tree, one of those base metal non-monster armors. Either way, you're cosplaying as a tank. The heavy bowgun is a long-range weapon that fires ammo from a distance. Not too much of a distance, you're still pretty close by. There's a separate ignition gauge that you can expend energy in to fire special ammo, appearing to be a machine gun rapid firing attack. Depleting rapidly whilst in use, ignition energy regenerates over time and when you successfully land regular hits. There's an auto guard function, and you can also manually guard incoming attacks as well. So perhaps the shield mods are now just a core part of the weapon. The focus mode attack seems to utilize a different ammo, which we can see 3 of over here. It looks like sticky ammo, so it might just be a different weapon, but it might be a focus mode special. Given that during its usage the wounds are on display here, it's likely to be a core function of heavy bowguns generally. A large missile-like projectile blasted out, repelling the Doshaguma back as if it's some sort of parry. Shots that appear and sound as if they hit multiple times, sort of like piercing ammo. And a sick clash attack with a barrel down the throat of the monster at the end. Personally, I'm not huge on the ranged weapons as is, and out of the ones we did see, I think it's pretty obvious which one's been most impressive. But I do think the changes are pretty cool, and I would like to try it. I'm going to rank HBG as B. Next up, we've got the Insect Glaive. Both the weapons and the armor appear to be the Chatacabra set, matching the monster's color scheme and patterns. It's pretty dope. I like the mask on the male model, and the cat hood on the female model is pretty cool too. Kinsects are of course back with a 1, 2, 3 red, white, and orange extract buffs. Immediately we see the double essence slot is just the default now, and that when hovering over a monster part, it tells you in advance which essence you're going to get. Over here you see the reticule lights up with red underneath. In addition to the classic sending and recalling the Kinsect, we can also see a focus mode attack here which does both in one strike, attacking and harvesting extracts at the same time. This is going to be so dynamic. We also see the Kinsect mirroring the spin attack that's done during focus mode too. The aerial vaulting gameplay is back, and this is the first look at mounting too. We see a focus strike explosively firing out the Kinsect, which could be awesome for part breaks, severing tails, and staggering. The Devil May Cry style screwdriver attack looks insane as well. A rapid spinning overhead slash which looks awesome, and of course everyone's favorite diving thrust as well. The weapon really got an all-round glow up and just makes it look like so much fun to use. A good balance of new attacks, fantastic quality of life features, and just fun. It looks fun. I'm going to be ranking Inset Glaive as A tier. Next, we've got the Gunlance. This armor set appears to be the Ingot Tree armor set, another one of those metal, non-monster base armor sets. The weapon seems to be from this leather tree of weapons that we've seen as well. Lots of detail, very cool looking. Starting with the standard thrust shelling attacks we know, some sidestepping is shown off here whilst firing shelling. Offense meets defense. A stunning gap closing wide slash into an overhead full burst and a worm stake cannon. So crunchy. A standard guard followed by a parry guard, riposting the monster with an overhead slash. Here we see what looks like overcharging a shelling attack, recoiling the hunter backwards, the classic upswing, overhead slash and full burst combo. Wyvern Fire is back. Look at the impact of this thing, god damn. A focus mode attack, it could be a focus strike, where the weapon opens up and the worm stake is used as a grinder whilst the hunter charges forward. A worm stake cannon, then I think a reload into a side full burst slice, finishing with a second worm stake cannon and a sick clash attack to finish it. One of the most explosive, coolest overviews revealed. They've given this weapon so much extra awesome. More flash, better mobility, full bursts all over the place, wyvern stake cannons coming out of your ears. To nobody's surprise, Gunlance is going in the S tier. Next up is the hunting horn, for when you want to get honks in addition to bonks. Kitted out in what appears to be the bone armor set and weapon tree. Nothing too special here, but still looks pretty cool. Initially, we see the hunter play a note, followed by a barrage of melody performance attacks. We see an echo bubble being placed on the ground outside of a combo with just a single input. And here's where it gets crazy. Every single attack swing playing the individual notes and then the performance attacks for the melodies are all having impact waves added to the end of the swings. Can you see that? Also pay attention to the small damage over time occurring to the monster within the bubble. So sick. Melody buffs continue to affect your entire team. In focus mode, we see a special attack that actually does a Silkbind move straight out of Monster Hunter Rise, the Earthshaker. Here we have what looks like a mount finisher, another Silkbind move slide beat, and then a backstep with a big parry attack repelling the Balahara. Another weapon that got such a massive glow up with all these new abilities. It looks absolutely crazy. Your capacity to deal damage and to support seems better than ever before. I am so excited to place down these echo bubbles, to try and control a fight within that space to your benefit. Seems like such an exciting way to play the game. Of course, Hunting Horn is going in the S tier. Next is Longsword. The armor appears to be the Doshiguma set, with possibly the weapons being so as well, but they could just be the bone weapons. The armor looks really cool, I dig it. Starting us off with the Spirit Blade combos that appear to be modular. Directional inputs perhaps modifying the attacks. The Foresight slash iframe dodging maneuver is back, into Spirit Round slash, going into Special Sheath stance into the EI slash crosscut, gradually increasing the spirit gauge over time. Modular Spirit Blade attack to the left, before finishing off the combo. Very dynamic and sick. Upon finishing the Spirit Blade combo to go into Red Gauge, we see an additional finisher being executed. Red Gauge appears to transform regular attacks into more powerful variations with multiple hits. A focus strike stabbing followed by vertical slices, activating the wounds. EI Spirit slash iframe counter, the signature Spirit Helm Breaker with follow-up slashes afterwards, and then what could be a parry into round slash or just the Spirit Blade combo. I absolutely love the changes to this weapon. Not only does it look like it's going to be so much fun, it also looks like it's shaking up the optimal loop. The Red Gauge powered up attacks could be really strong, so it's no longer just building up gauge to do Hell Breakers to build up gauge. I'm ranking Longsword in a comfortable A tier. Next, we've got the Charge Blade. We've seen some dope outfits, but goddamn, this takes the cake. That gothic, vampiric armor, good god. And that gorgeous, detailed Charge Blade that has all the webbing as well. Methinks some kind of Spooder monster. Opening with a regular 3-hit sword combo, into a charge double slash, and maneuvering with a sliding slash. The charge double slash and follow-up swing again to build charge on the weapon. A hop to the side to quickly store the files. Transforming into axe mode followed by a horizontal gap closing element discharge attack. Into element discharge 2. Same again, this time ending with the amped element discharge, which has a follow-up crunchy element discharge finisher. Charge once more stored into files, then consumed with elemental round slash to charge the shield. While storing files, we see the condensed element slash charging up the sword, adding extra damage to the sword attacks. A focus strike with a cross cut with the sword, followed by a savage Savage Axe blender attack to pop the wounds. A guard points into the Savage Axe activation, perhaps a sneak attack over here, finishing with that third element discharge attack, and the signature super amped element discharge. The changes to this weapon feel foundational. Not massive, but still awesome changes. Out of everything, that additional elemental discharge finisher, and especially how it functions with AED and SAED, is going to be absolutely huge. I'm ranking Charge Blade in another very comfy A tier. Up next, we've got the hammer. I absolutely love what we're seeing here. This weird Plague Doctor, Lovecraftian, Eldritch, cosmic horror vibe, all the green tubes and files on the armor set, and the Frankenstein ribcage brain matter plague mask hammer. What's the monster that this comes from? Pretty sick, not gonna lie. Starting with the overhead smash combo and a quick sidestep after the first hit, if you notice, into the upswing finisher with possible poison status effects if you see those clouds on the hits. The sway silkbind from Rise has been reworked with the hook slinger, allowing for dodging and gap closing whilst maintaining charge. The charged Big Bang finisher getting a KO. The crunchy Big Bang combo is back and appears to have hyper armor as well, as the combo proceeds through a tongue attack from the Chatacabra. A powerful wind-up focus strike which could be a rework of the spinning meteor attack from previous games. The upswing finisher actually parrying and countering an attack here, finishing once more with the crazy wind-up spinning meteor style attack. This time it doesn't seem to be a focus strike, which ends with the brutal Big Bang finisher as part of the move. Some very cool additions to the hammer here. Again, this feels very foundational. The additional mobility, the sidestepping, and some cool looking new swings. It still feels like it's really lacking impact like the greatsword. I was hoping for some more flash, more abilities, but all in all, a solid overview. I'm ranking the hammer in B tier. Next, we've got the light bowgun, another weapon from the leather weapon tree, and the armor set appears to be a glow up of the battle armor from a previous title. All of this gear has so much detail added in. Just look at all the stuff on the armor. So much love went into making this. We see the very high mobility we're accustomed to with the LBG, moving swiftly and even side dodging whilst firing this burst fire ammo. And confirmation there will be various ammo types. More quick burst fire attacks followed by another side dodge and a quick slide. A brand new mechanic with the rapid fire energy, putting you in a special stance that lets you rapid fire your rapid fire rapidly. We can assume this will work on all ammo. Crouch to increase the number of hits at the cost of mobility. The energy regenerates automatically over time and upon successfully landing hits. Wyvern fire is placed on the ground that gets triggered up to 3 times by monster and hunter attacks. We can assume this ammo type is spread looking at that recoil. Entering focus mode allows you to switch over to a new special type of ammo, appearing to transform it into a goddamn grenade launcher. A mount finisher firing off some shots and then an explosion, and a diving back roll whilst firing. It's funny because on the one hand it really differentiates itself from HBG, and on the other they both have these gauges to rapid fire. I think it's a great addition to the weapon and it looks loads of fun to play. Really great mobility which definitely sets itself apart from HBG. I'm going to be placing light bowgun in the B tier. Next we've got another one of my mains, the sword and shield. Draped in full Rathalos drip, the armor, the weapon looks so cool. Such a classic look. A simple sword combo with the hunter strafing left and right in between hits, all the while facing forwards, with fire elemental clouds on the hits. The shield bash combo inflicting stun and KOing the monster, into a sliding slash and the strafing sword combo once more. The shield block with a big recoil, usage of items whilst the weapon's drawn, a focus mode attack thrusting the sword into the monster, scaling it with a big jump, and crashing down with a falling bash shield slam, activating the wounds, making this the focus strike. The powerful perfect rush combo. We've got a parry and riposte attack here, closing with a new wind-up jumping attack, dragging the sword down the monster. I found this overview pretty underwhelming, not gonna lie. I thought they took a lot of the speed out of the weapon. The core combo doesn't particularly look very fun. I love the mobility, the sidestepping, that seems cool. The parry lacked any impact as well. With a heavy heart, I'm going to be ranking the sword and shield in C tier. Next up, we've got the switch axe. Both the weapon and armor here look absolutely stunning, like something you'd expect from a lunar or moon deity. Very elegant and divine, yet powerful. The weapon appears to have some sort of mandibles or claws, may come from some kind of insect-style monster or a crustacean, looking likely to be a new monster. Jumping straight into the axe mode combo that we know and love, with a slight tweak on the rising slash to have multiple hits. Also notice the weapon appears to be ice elemental. Fast and powerful sword combos returning. In focus mode in axe form, we see this rapid swinging attack reminiscent of the wild swing, followed by a quick morph into sword form and a rapid elemental discharge. The wounds are consumed, so this is a focus strike. A big parry in sword form, followed by a juicy crosscut riposte. thrust, gap closing horizontal followed by vertical swings with the axe, perhaps a rework of the invincible gambit silkbind from Rise, and then rapid sword swings that are unleashing elemental discharges with each hit. Okay, this one took me by surprise. I think switch axe is cool, but it's not one of my mains. My mains have left me really disappointed. This, on the other hand, I absolutely love what I'm seeing. That change to the axe combo makes it look like so much fun. The parry has impact, the sword swings are fast, and that elemental discharge sword combo at the end, god damn! I'm ranking switch axe in the S tier. Next, we've got the bow. Ever get the impression that Capcom plays favorites with their weapons? No hate, if I worked there, I would do the same. This armor set is so magnificent. The musketeer vibe, and the female armor with a helmet covering the eye with that head plume as well, and the actual weapon, despite being the leather tree, once again looks absolutely sick. Incredible detail. Starting off with the core combos firing single and multiple arrows. We see the power coating applied, which then brings up the files underneath the reticle, reminiscent of ammo for the Bowgun, so maybe the coating system has changed. Arrows can be charged up to deal additional damage. We see some of the bow's exceptional mobility on display here, including a perfect time dodge, which may activate some sort of special effect, various dodge slides in between attacks, and even a sideways jump into the air. A tracer can be applied onto a monster, which will then cause all of the arrows to home in on it, including your dragon piercer, which is back, and will explode after enough damage or time has passed. Arc shot into focus mode, getting this dragon's dogma style of lock-on, firing off all the arrows and following it up with a dragon piercer, which then explodes all of the wounds. A jumping sneak attack, perfect dodge, and a powerful crouch spread shot. Jesus Christ, everything we saw here was insane. I don't play ranged weapons, but I'm about to be a bow main, you know what I mean? The mobility, the perfect dodge, the tracker arrow, the dragon's dogma magic arrow lock-on focus mode, oh god! I'm ranking bow in the S tier. Next, we've got the lance. This gear definitely looks like it belongs to the Balahara set. The scaly, reptilian, serpentine vibe of it. Very cool looking gear, and it's nice to see that what we assume are early monsters are still giving us some really dope looking gear. Starting off with the regular block, which has typically been the most powerful one the weapon has, into the triple mid-thrust combo with sidestepping in between the attacks, allowing for greater mobility and positioning. Also note that the weapon appears to be water elemental. The second mid-thrust combo ends with a triple hitting upwards thrust. Counter guard now appears to be a very quick shield bash, and the power guard counters with a lance uppercut. We then see a mid-thrust counter from power guard into the charging attack, a quick U-turn and the wide sweep. In focus mode we see a shield uppercut, a running shield bash, finished with a potent jab. The wounds are consumed, making this the focus strike. A charged lance uppercut parry, a running jumping mid-thrust, and a clash grapple attack to finish. I absolutely loved what we saw here for Lance. It felt quite foundational, but it also felt like we got a bunch of new counters, a huge addition to the mobility of the weapon with the sidestepping. It just felt crunchy, it feels fun. Lance gets an A tier ranking, no problem. Lastly, we've got the dual blades. The armor set appears to be a reworked Conga Lala armor, so for all of you who wanted the farting monkey back, rejoice, you're gonna get shit on. The weapons here appear to just be the bone set. They could have gone for something a little flashier. It is dual blades after all, but it does suit. Starting off with the standard rapid attacks with both weapons, then entering demon mode on the move. Standard attacks building up gauge, but the blade dance consuming it, with the hunter appearing to hyper armor through several attacks. Archdemon mode to further boost the damage of some attacks, perhaps a boosted regular form like in World, or a separate mode entirely, appearing to have perfect timed input combos, reminiscent of the Sword and Shield's perfect rush, with flashy mobility on display. A focus strike that sees the hunter vault backwards into the air, before hook slingering back onto the monster and unleashing the devastating Heavenly Blade dance. The Attack on Titan Levi Ackerman Beyblade. A flashy perfect dodge with a spinning moveset which may get unlocked with it. A fidget spinner mount finisher, and a really flashy new combo finisher. I was very pleasantly surprised by dual blades because they've made the flashy even flashier. Everyone loves the Heavenly Blade dance, it's just so epic. They've injected it into the weapon so we can see more of it. The changes to the demon mode and archdemon mode seems really cool as well. Not to mention that blue glow dodging spiral stance, that seems sick too. I'm putting dual blades in the A tier. That's all of our Monster Hunter Wilds weapons ranked according to their weapon overviews and purely in an arbitrary, fun, subjective way. Just what I think looks dope. How would you rank yours? Let me know in the comments. I would would love to hear from you. As mentioned at the start, a massive thank you for really turning up and getting us to around 80% of unsubscribed viewers on the channel, with the majority of you returning. If you enjoy the videos, do subscribe. It lets me gauge the appetite for Wilds content. If you're looking for a mature and inclusive place to get hyped for Wilds with us, come and join the Discord. We also do open lobbies for Monster Hunter World and Rise, and across all platforms too. I'll also have open lobbies during the live streams over on Twitch. I will leave all of these links for you in the description. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I still don't know how to sign these off. I'll see you in the new world, the old world, whatever world. I'll see ya.